Hi folks. Um, this evening I wouldn't mind talking, just put a bit more light in here, about the portable rock art, if you like, the flint and stone carvings that I find, um, which were obviously from another age. They were, the archaeologists don't want to look up stone carvings found in Britain or anywhere else. They only want to look at stone tools, things that they think man may have made into like knives and axes out of stone. And they refuse point blank to look at what I call portable rock art, which is where flint, particularly flint and stones like it, have been carved into effigies and images. And the conventional archaeologists will tell you that there was a timeline. You had the Paleolithic period, the Mesolithic period, and then the more recent Neolithic period, which ended just before as it transmuted into the so-called Bronze Age. Um, I don't agree with that. I believe that these stone effigies were carved, and the flint tools that are found are carved by pre-flood and post-flood survivors. And I think these people were very different to us. They were like a people of another epoch completely. They're almost alien to us, the pre-flood people, in the way we are and the way our society is. I think they were more natural and worked with the natural world. They may have had technology as well, but that technology would have been a lot more natural than ours. You know, we're living in a very fake, artificial age now, and we're trying to transform the whole world into a fake, artificial place. This is a stone carving. I've shown this one before of a woman. And there's the side profile, the nose area coming up to the forehead, and the chin area. And this is her hair cascading down. And this is her shoulder. So she technically that's the back of the lady, and the back of the hair, and she has just turned her head to look that way. So I'm just holding this as an example. But I've got hundreds of these things that I found, and I'd just like to remark that these stone carvings are about as close as we're going to get to viewing the nature and perhaps what these beings look like. And although most of the stones you find are representations of animals that lived here, and I'm based in the UK, and I'm finding stone carvings and reputations of tropical animals and animals you would find in Africa. And this is the UK, so pre-flood the climate must have been much nicer than it is now, much warmer, and there were a plethora of animals that we do not have today in the UK. And obviously something happened, a cataclysm or mud flood, that completely wiped them out, and probably through some process turned organic matter into stone. The trees and the plants and all the organic beings who lived through it possibly got turned to stone. I believe they did. So little things like this that I find are almost gateways into viewing those people. And when you hold something like this, you know you're holding something that those people carved. And this is where when they had carved them, it was a form of entertainment, because in the right light, when you've got a campfire going or a flickering light and you look at them, they come alive, they animate. And I'd like to also say that I think the stone that they were working with, this flint, was malleable and soft. when they worked with it, almost like clay. Because if you turn this the other way, I think that whoever made this, or it may be the lady herself that the portrait was made of, put her foot. She was asked to put her foot on it, and she left a print. And there's like the toe, and she rubbed her toes along, and that's what you have. So I'm presuming this stone was malleable, which would definitely suggest how they could just probably manipulate with their fingers and nails and get in there, rather than what today we think they did it with an antler horn or something like that, you know, to make these things. Because there's no flint knapper today that could make this without cracking a stone. They can just about make the tools, but they make them very nice tools, but they're all very kind of uniform and done in a certain way. Whereas something like this, with all the intricate work that would be involved in this, getting the hair and making all the crooks and crannies, they'd end up cracking the stone. So I'm beginning to think that the stone itself was quite malleable. And here we have a figure. Here is the neck area coming up. There's the nose, there's the eye, and this kind of elongated head coming up with an Egyptian kind of squared off hat there, coming down, and there's the nose area, and the eye. And I think that this stone was malleable and soft, so they could actually didn't have to hit it with an antler horn or something. Yeah, so I'm gonna get at some point my entire collection out and go through some of the things that I have and show you how they may have made it with soft stone, and talk a lot more on this subject, because I think it's really important. The portable rock art that we can find everywhere is so important, because that is our gateway to view the work and the nature of these wonderful pre-flood people that were wiped out. And what we have today is this reset that we're living in, which is a parasitic, dull kind of place, cut off from nature, cut off from our artistic right brain sort of like thinking, you know. When I sometimes look at these things and I've got them, I can almost feel that energy, you know, from energy of the peoples from those times. And they were very magical people. They lived in harmony with nature, and they worked with natural energies, you know, even if the stone, just say the stone was actually hard, they could probably work with energy to make it malleable and workable. So, and I know that I have the ghosts here, because I bring some of these stones in, right? If I find a new one particularly, I bring it in. It's a good one, and the lights start flickering in the house, and I have now burnt, what was it, recently 4 or 5 light bulbs. As soon as I get the stone, I'm looking at the light bulb. The light bulb has burst. Wish I'd caught it on camera. But incredible. I'm pretty sure that the ghosts or spirits of these people, some of them are wandering around here, and they're probably looking at our world thinking, thank God we got destroyed and we're not here anymore. Anyway, thanks for listening. I'll talk more on this subject at some other point.